I think the difference between chamber music and a lot of other kinds of classical music playing, solo, for example, playing in an orchestra, is that it is probably the most interactive form of classical music that there is. Without a conductor, it necessitates total teamwork. We are all equally dependent one upon another on the stage. Even though I may be just playing the cello part, which is a lot of times the bass line, the other parts are very dependent on the bass line. What I do down there in the basement, as it was, somewhat runs the whole household. I can turn up the temperature if I want. I can slow it down. I can speed it up. And people are aware of that, even though they may not see it from the audience. I think that's one thing that makes it such a wonderful social exercise. It makes it a wonderful study for very young musicians. I'm talking about musicians even before the age of 10, because through chamber music you learn not only musical skills, musical independence, but you also learn social skills and behavior, and how to work with colleagues and bring together, something which will be more than the sum of its parts.
This hall, the Playhouse, is very clear, and I remember when we first played here, I didn't like it because it felt very dry. And as the years go by, the more I play in halls like this, I actually prefer to play in a hall like this where I really can hear exactly what's going on, the hush of the audience in Vancouver. And it's not because they're asleep, it's because they're really focused on what we're doing.
If anyone is considering to come to a classical music concert and doesn't really know much about it, I would encourage them before they come to find out as much as they possibly can about the music that they're going to hear. The place to start is with the composers. You can always just look up, these days it's so easy to look up the life of a composer on the internet. For these great pieces of music that we play, each one of them has a backstory, and they're fascinating. The people who wrote them were amazing, interesting, sometimes completely out of their minds. I'm thinking of people like Beethoven. And they provide their personal stories, their histories, their surroundings, their times, provide a kind of context for listening to the music that I find is absolutely irreplaceable. It's made me enjoy the music that I play more and more and more and more. The older I've gotten and the more I've learned about the music, it's an endless study, hobby. It's like people who know all the statistics about baseball players and teams. And when they go to the games, they're so excited about every little thing that happens. When I watch a baseball game, I wish I knew so much, because I can tell I'm missing something. For classical music, it's an incredibly rich, wonderful art form. It's endlessly fascinating. There's endless details and things to discover about it, and they're there for the asking. I encourage everybody who's going to come to a classical concert, do a little digging beforehand. You'll get much, much more out of it.
As a musician, you actually have a sense. You have to really tune up your sixth sense out there. And to have everybody in the same room with you, you can sense if your audience are with you or not. And the audience can sense if the community are gathering or not. It's something you really cannot explain unless you are in the live concert. There's a sense of concentration, and when some moment happens so magical, everybody realizes that, and everybody has a smile on their face or the tears in their eyes. And I think that's why we all need to go to live concerts. I can sit on stage and I can feel that happen every time when I try to achieve something extraordinary. And when I could do that, when I sense that extreme seconds of magic that happen, that we all realize life is worth living.